In last video, we have discussed the derivation of length of an open belt drive and length of an cross belt drive. Right? In this video, we are going to derive the ratios of belt tension. Right? So ratios of belt tension. Right? Now, what we have done, what we have considered here is we have considered the driven pulley. Right? We have considered the driven pulley which is rotating in clockwise direction. Right? We have considered a driven pulley which is rotating in clockwise direction. So these are the belts. This is the one of the belt side. This is one of the other belt side. This is the tight side belt and this is the slack side belt. Right? Now we will consider T1 as the tension in tight side. Similarly, T2 is the tension in slack side. Now theta is the angle which is made in which the belt is in contact, or theta be the angle of contact between belt and the pulley. Right? Now after that, what we have done here is we have considered one small element, that is here this is the point P and here is the point Q here. Right? We have considered a small element PQ, right? So this angle will considered as delta theta. This angle is considered as delta theta here. So at this point T be the tension in tight side, right? At this point the tension in this side is T here. Similarly, in the point Q, T plus delta T, right? T plus delta T be the tension in tight side. After that, we will be considering mu as the coefficient of friction between belt and pulley. R is the normal reaction force exerted by the pulley on the belt. Right? So the frictional force I will consider it as F, which is acting frictional force which is acting perpendicular to the normal reaction R. I can write frictional force F is equals to mu into R. Right? This R is the normal reaction force. It is acting in this direction, and in the perpendicular to that we have the frictional force F is equals to mu into R. This is the frictional force which is acting perpendicular to the normal reaction R here. Right? Now what will be this angle? This angle I can call it as delta theta by 2. Similarly, this angle will be delta theta by 2 here. Right? So I can state this angle is also delta theta by 2. Why? Whatever we have in this like this, here we have tilted like this, right? So if the angle here is delta theta by 2, the same angle will be there in this side also, that is delta theta by 2. Similarly, this angle also will be delta theta by 2 here, right? If this angle is delta theta by 2, right? Now what will be this angle? This complete angle will be 90 degree, right? This complete angle will be 90 degree, but what is this angle? This angle will be 90 minus delta theta by 2. 90 minus delta theta by 2, and this angle will be again it is delta theta by 2 here. Right? This angle will be delta theta by 2. Right? Similarly, this side also. Right? This angle will be 90 degree here. Right? If I draw one line like this, right, this will be 90 minus delta theta by 2. This will be delta theta by 2. These are the angles what we have considered. Right. Now after this, what I have considered here is I have taken the T separate here to make this force into horizontal and vertical. Right. Now in horizontal direction, this angle is what? This angle is again it is delta theta by 2. Similarly, this angle is, this side is t plus delta t. So this angle also will be delta theta by 2 here. Now how can I resolve the forces in horizontal and vertical direction here is, this side, if this angle is delta theta by 2, this side which is there in the adjacent side, right, adjacent side becomes, here first I will do this one, this side becomes t into cos delta theta by 2. Adjacent side, resolving the forces into horizontal into vertical, adjacent side becomes t plus cos delta theta by 2, vertical becomes t into sin delta theta by 2. Similarly, this force becomes t plus delta t into cos delta theta by 2. Similarly, this side becomes t plus delta t sin delta theta by 2. Right? What we have done? These are the resolving the forces into horizontal into vertical. That is, t in vertical direction it becomes t into cos delta theta by 2. In horizontal becomes t into sin delta theta by 2. For this, t plus delta t, in vertical it becomes t plus delta t into cos delta theta by 2. In vertical, in horizontal it becomes t plus delta t into sin delta theta by 2. Right. Now, if the element PQ should be in equilibrium, it should follow some of the forces. That first forces will be the slack side tension, acting at P. Right. Similarly, second will be tight side tension acting at Q. Next, third will be the normal reaction reaction force R, right? Tight side tension T, slack side tension T plus delta T, and normal reaction R. Also, there should be one more force, that is nothing but the frictional force F. Right. These are the forces what we should consider, what we should have to be PQ to be in stationary. Right. If PQ should be in equilibrium condition, these are the forces should be there. Right. So what we will be doing, we will be resolving these forces into horizontal and vertical forces. First, I will resolve the forces into horizontally. Resolve the forces into horizontal. It will be resolving the forces into horizontal direction. Right. Now, what are the forces we have? Horizontal means in this direction here, right? In this direction here, that is in x direction. First force we have is the R, right, which is acting in the direction of x. R is the first force what we have. Next are the tension forces, that is T and delta T, which is in the horizontal direction. These are the three forces what we have. So first force is R. I will write R here, which is equals to, now in this direction we have done, that is R, only it is there in direction of x. Direction opposite to that of x will be what? One is with respect to this force, that is tension force T. This force tension force T, that is T into sin delta theta by 2, and for this force it will be T plus delta T into sin delta theta by 2. Right. So I will be writing R is equals to T into sin delta theta by 2 plus T plus delta T into sine delta theta by 2, right? These are the two forces what we have. Now after this what I will do, I will multiply this sine delta theta into inside the bracket here. R is equals to t into sine delta theta by 2 plus t into sine delta theta by 2 plus delta t into sine delta theta by 2 here, right? So this becomes R is equals to 2t sine delta theta by 2 plus delta t sine delta theta by 2. Now as we know, for smaller angles, for small angles, what will be sine delta theta by 2, which is equals to delta theta by 2, right? For smaller angles we can consider sine delta theta by 2 as only delta theta by 2. So I will substitute in the above equation, that is R is equals to 2t sine delta theta, I will write only delta theta by 2 plus delta t into sine delta, sorry, only delta theta by 2 here, right? Now after this we can see delta t is the small change in tension and delta theta by 2 will be a smaller angle, that is half angle here, right? Total I considered as angle between P and Q is delta t, half angle will be delta theta by 2, right? So this delta theta by 2 and small change in tension, that is delta t, will be multiplication will be very small, so I can neglect this term. But what I have done as delta t into delta theta by 2 is smaller value of delta theta by 2, so I can neglect, right? So neglect this term, right? So only what will be remaining will be here is R is equals to 2t into delta theta by 2, right? So 2 get cancels, remaining will be R is equals to t into delta theta here. Call this as equation number 1. Call this as equation number 1, right? Now what we will be considering, we will be resolving the forces into vertical, right? Resolve the forces vertically. Resolving the forces into vertical direction, right? Now what are the forces we have in vertical direction? First is F is equals to mu into R, right? This is the frictional force what we have. Then the vertical forces of T and vertical forces of T plus delta T. These are the three forces what we have, right? Now F mu into R, which is acting in upward direction, T into cos delta theta by 2, which is acting upward direction, T plus delta T into cos delta theta by 2, which is acting in downward direction. We shall equate both upward direction and downward direction here, right? So I can write first downward direction forces, that is T plus delta T into cos delta theta by 2 is equals to frictional force, that is mu into R, plus and one more horizontal vertical force which is acting with respect to T, that is T into cos delta theta by 2, right? So again what I will be doing, I will be multiplying these terms inside, that is T into cos delta theta by 2 plus delta T into cos delta theta by 2 is equals to mu into R plus t into cos delta theta by 2. So these two terms get cancels off, remaining will be delta t into cos delta theta by 2 is equals to mu into r. Right. Again you can say for smaller angles, for small angles, cos delta theta by 2 is equals to 1. Right. For smaller angles, cos delta theta by 2 is equals to 1 here. So in place of cos delta theta by 2, I can write it as 1. That is delta t is equals to mu into r. Right. So what will be r? R is equals to delta t by mu. Call this as equation number 2. Call this is equation number 2. Right. When we consider equation 1 and 2, for both we have r is equals to delta theta by 2, r is equals to delta t by mu. Right. Now we can equate 1 and 2. So when I equate 1 and 2, what I will get? We will be getting only t into delta theta is equals to delta t by mu. Right. Now I can write this as mu into delta theta is equals to delta t divided by t. Right. Now why I am writing this one here? Because for this question, for this derivation, we have considered only the small portion of complete angle, right? It is from P to Q. This is the small distance what we have considered here, right? For an element P to Q. But we need to consider from this point to this point here, right? That is from the tension T1 to T2, right? From tension T2 to T1, and theta will be from 0 to theta, actual complete theta here, from 0 to theta and from T2 to T1. Why I am considering T2 to T1? Because T2 is the tension in slack side, T1 is the tension in tight side. So always the lower limit to upper limit, right? Now what I need to do, integrate what I will be doing here is, I will be integrating the given equation here, integrating delta theta between 0 to theta and tension delta t between T2 to T1, right? We have this as mu into delta theta is equals to delta t by t, right? First I will write that one, mu into delta theta is equals to delta t by t here, right? Now for theta I need to integrate between 0 to theta, and for tension t, that is from T2 to T1, T2 to T1 here, right? Now what is the integration of this delta theta, right? Integration of delta theta will only be theta, and limits 0 to theta, it becomes only theta here, that is mu into theta, right? Now integration of this, integration of delta theta by t, right? Integration of delta theta by t, it becomes only log t here between the limits T2 to T1, right? So mu into theta is equals to log T1 minus log T2. So mu into theta will be log of T1 by T2, right? So I can write this as T1 by T2 is equals to e power mu theta. T2 to T1 by T2 is called as T1 by T2 is equals to e power mu theta here. This is the ratios of tension in belt drive, right? Now what is angle of contact? Angle of contact is the angle suspended by the angle suspended at the center of pulley when belt makes contact with the surface of pulley here. That is theta here is the angle of contact. It means it is the suspended angle at the center of the pulley when a belt makes an contact with the surface of pulley here. This is the angle of contact here, right? So the ratios of belt tension is T1 by T2 is equals to e power mu theta here, right? Thank you.